Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Revival Jam Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for May 2020. This is probably going to be one of the more weirder deck profiles I've done as of late. I've just been trying to, focus on a lot of the old school support for deck profiles, and I figure why not make a deck that focuses on one of the more well-known villain monsters from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series during the Battle City arc, the Revival Jam. The whole deck focuses on just, utilizing Revival Jam's effect to, revive itself and special summon itself back onto your field after being destroyed by battle, which I definitely agree was a lot more broken in the anime, just being able to revive, from redirected attacks. It revived, instantly. But this one, not as good. But maybe if we're lucky down the road, we'll get some true Revival Jam support just to make the card all that better. Because it definitely is a truly hilarious card altogether. And I want to focus on the other cards that, Strings used when he faced, Yugi. The main, purpose of the deck was the Slifer the Sky Dragon summon. But this one focuses more just on summoning Revival Jam and all the other different cards. Let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters for our main one in the deck, which is Revival Jam, we are running 3 Revival Jams with this card as your main go-to monster in the deck. Revival Jam focuses on when it is, destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. You can pay 1,000 life points, then special summon this card in face-up defense position during your next standby phase. So it's basically just that defensive card that you play in the deck. Once it gets destroyed, and then you pay the life points, it comes back onto the field for you to resummon again, and then either use as resource or just keep on the field as your go-to, wall card to defend against your opponent. And it just has the one attack, but if you get multiple Revival Jams on the field, it's just more and more Revival Jams you can summon out onto the field until you can get one of your bigger plays with some of your extra deck monsters, with which Revival Jam being your defense of the deck. We have to rely on some of the other cards in the deck for more of the actual plays you can do to go against your opponent offensively. And with some of those cards, we're sticking to the fusion support that Strings use. So Humanoid Slime and Wormdrake. I only was able to find 1 Humanoid Slime, but I definitely would like to go 2 Humanoid Slimes and 2 Wormdrake for the main go-to fusion, which is Humanoid Wormdrake, the fusion between the 2 cards, just for an easy fusion summon to rely on polymerization, while Revival Jam goes for the defensive power against your opponent. You rely on the Wormdrake and Humanoid Slime fusion for more of a attack with your normal monsters, or just go for the polymerization play and have that fusion option available to you there as well as one of your go-to monsters for also the slime support in total, since that's the main focus of this deck, being the slime support with Revival Jam and all the other different cards also in the deck. And for more additional support to help with the actual fusion of the cards, I am also running 3 King of the Swamps, along with also being able to search out polymerization. Just having, a card that can cover one of the, specified monsters on the card for the summon. Just another big help for sure with the deck. So 3 King of the Swamps is a big help for that for sure. And just having that polymerization search with some of the other spell support we're using for that play is a big help for sure also. And I also am running 3 White Stingray. I just wanted one more additional play to help with some of our extra deck plays. With this one, you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 water monster. You can only special summon White Stingray once per turn this way. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can treat it as a tuner this turn. You can only use this effect of White Stingray once per turn. So altogether, with some of our plays, if you have Revival Jam in your hand and you go for the White Stingray play, you can discard the Revival Jam to special summon White Stingray onto the field, giving you a monster that you even haven't taken up the normal summon yet, which you can use for one of your other normal monsters in the deck as well. But with Revival Jam set up in the graveyard, you can use one of the other spell or traps we run in the deck to special summon back Revival Jam onto the field, and then play with that defensive power there, and then go for the play for your either Exceed summon, or if you're able to summon White Stingray from the graveyard, making a tuner, the Synchro Play as well. That's why I also like to run 3 of this, because for the same revival aspect with Revival Jam getting back on the field, you can do the same thing with White Stingray. The only difference is this card will be treated as a tuner when it comes back. And for more faster ways to get Revival Jam out onto the field from the deck, I'm also running 2 Mother Grizzly. If you wanted to drop the number of White Stingray down to 2, you can put in a 3rd copy of Mother Grizzly. It's just player preference at that point, what you wanted to run. But this one, when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 1 water monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in face-up attack position. So the Revival Jam doesn't have the best attack, but just being able to get onto the field faster than get destroyed and special summon back onto the field is the big plus you want to do with that card. So Mother Grizzly just helps to speed up that play, and with the majority of the cards in our deck being water monsters, it's just another bonus for sure to use all together. And there could be some monsters that my opponent may be using that could potentially be more dangerous for our plays, just for the fact that if it attacks Revival Jam and destroys it, let's say with a card effect, then we're not going to get the Revival effect. So I'm also just running 2 Gamma Seal, just so I have the option to tribute my opponent's monster, giving them the Gamma Seal, which they'll either have to use for a resource for another extra deck monster, or just attack into my Revival Jam, which will be the main point of the play altogether, avoiding it from being destroyed by a card effect and just focusing on it being destroyed by battle instead. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. Now, the big thing I debate is how many Jam Breeding Machines I want, because this card, during each standby phase, you special summon 1 slime token in face-up attack position with 500 defense and 500 attack to your side of the field. As long as this card remains face-up on the field, you cannot special summon, including flip summon or special summon any other type of monster. So you can't summon any other monsters with the Jam Breeding Machine. That's why I'm only running the 1. It's just a way to keep the token going onto the field for resources to use for, let's say, some of our linked plays once we build up enough tokens for that option. The only weakness is your opponent may attack into them, but if you can get the tokens built up, we have other spell means to destroy the Jamboree Machine on the field and then use the tokens for the resources we want it, because once the Jamboree Machine is gone, we have the option to go for our other plays altogether. And for the fusion plays with all of our other monsters, so we can make the humanoid worm drake, I'm also running the 2 polymerization, just having this fusion option. I'm only running 2 polymerization because I'm also running the 2 fusion recycling plant, just being able to recycle our resources for whatever fusion we made, and then just being able to search out polymerization that much faster with this field spell is a great option for sure. And the 1 terraforming just as the easy way to search this card out for the deck as well. And since we're running a good amount of normal monsters, I also run 2 unexpected die. This one just is an easy special summon for our worm drake or our humanoid slime onto the field, and both are level 4 options. So if you have both of these cards and you also open up Revival Jam, you can summon Revival Jam after special summoning one of the other 2, overlay for the Exceed play, or go for a link play as well with those options for our easy special summon of our monsters. And also with the Jam Breeding Machine, the field spells, and the fact that you're definitely going to be using a lot of life points just to revive Revival Jam, I'm also running 2 emergency provisions. You send any number of other spell and traps you control to the graveyard to gain 1,000 life for each. So with all these cards, like let's say you've had your fill of the Jam Breeding Machine, or you've used up the Fusion Recycling Plant as much as you want. If they're still face up on the field, you can use emergency provisions to send them and gain life points that then you can then in turn use to keep Revival Jam on the field, keeping it reviving on the field for the continuous special summons. But you gotta spend 1,000 life points each time you do so, so emergency provisions can help to regain that life as well. And I also run, for the 1-ofs of the spells, 1 Foolish Burial and 1 Monster Reborn. These 2 both work for the same idea. You can either send the Revival Jam to special summon it with Foolish Burial and then Monster Reborn, or the same idea with White Stingray, and then when you special summon this, you'll get the Tuner effect as well. For both of these options, is very, very useful for that play altogether. And that is it for these spells. We'll now move on to the traps. Now, Revival Jam has 1 trap that is made specifically for it, and definitely one of the better options to go for, especially to protect your slime tokens, and that is Jam Defender. When an opponent's monster declares an attack on a monster you control, you can target 1 Revival Jam you control and switch the attack target to that one. So it's just a good way to save, let's say, your slime tokens. If your opponent's going to attack into them, just activate Jam Defender, and then the attack will be be redirected onto the Revival Jam, just like it was in the anime with Strings when he activated Jam Defender, and when Yugi tried to attack into his slime tokens, he was able to protect them with the only other support I think we have for Revival Jam altogether being Jam Defender. Definitely is an interesting art at that for sure, just how it looks, compared to the actual Revival Jam also. But for more slime support, I'm also running 3 Metal Reflect Slime, just another wall to rely on for our wall of monsters that we create. It's also a water monster, so you can easily use it for the link plays, but also still count as a trap. So it's another trap option for emergency provisions on the field to use. And I also run the 3 Call of the Haunted. Now, if you use your resources for your summons and then the Call of the Haunted is just dead on the field, it's another emergency provisions target that you can rely on for just having more cards to use to gain more life points, but still being able to special summon back cards like White Stingray, Revival Jam for other plays you want to do on the field also. And to finish off the main deck, I just run 2 Crackdown. This is a good way to take my opponent's resources while still giving me something on the field. Once again, for the emergency provisions target to gain life points, but still being able to take my opponent's own monsters for resources. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I run the 1 Humanoid Worm Drake. I'm only running 1 of this card because the other fusion option, First the Dragons, is definitely, I would say, a true better, boss monster to go into, but still very, very fun when you can make the actual fusion monster that was made in the anime altogether using Worm Drake and Humanoid Slime for your options. And then for the other extra deck monsters, I run 2 Link Spider, just with the normal monsters we run. It's just an easy option to get an effect monster on the field, or a differently named monster, so we can go into our Nightmare engine also. Also 1 Predaplant Vert Anaconda for the polymerization plays when we need them, and also 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and 1 Borolo Dragon for some of the other additional Link monsters, and also the 2 Miss Starboy, since the majority of the monsters we're running in the deck are water, so just a good option to have. I know we're getting a Raya with Eternity Code, so if you already have that, you can replace one of the Miss Starboys for one of those cards also. For the Exceed plays, I run 1 number 101 Silent Honor Arc and 1 Abyss Dweller, especially with Abyss Dweller and the water monsters. It's a big bonus there for sure. And with the White Stingray Synchro plays, I run the 1 Scrap Dragon and the 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, the level 8 Synchros, being the best option to go for since the majority of monsters in our deck are level 4. And that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. This has definitely been one of my stranger deck profiles, but I am a big fan of Revival Jam. I just love the art, and I was a big fan of seeing it in the actual anime. Sadly, we can't do strings as infinite cards, cards saved for turn play to keep a powerful Slifer on the field. But if you did want to run Slifer just as more of a fun option, you can always take out one of the Gamma Seals and see how it works for you with the slime tokens and all the other different monsters to really relive the scene where Strings summoned out Slifer the Sky Dragon against Yugi. But that is it for the deck profile. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.